It is recurring.
Yeah, just that could be your question. What is the shape of water?
Okay, so Sally Hawkins, who I really like as an actress, actually. She's really good. Do you know who that is? The main woman? She's been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
She's in the family-friendly Paddington Bear movie, the original one. Do you want to see?
Paddington Bear?
No, okay, so the guy is like...
I think Paddington was nominated for some awards.
Yeah. So was freaking Boss Baby.
Fuck that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that shit.
What is that?
Boss Baby?
It's like an animated movie about a baby
who's a boss.
Oh, wait, yeah, I know what
in
that
a baby
is.
body.
With Alec Baldwin, who we hate now.
It's creepy and weird.
Yeah.
I mean... Yes, but why?
I don't remember.
He's just an ass.
No, he called his daughter like a pig or something. Like
was this recent?
In the last like 5 years maybe?
Oh, so no.
And that's fine. That's his own daughter.
No. Okay.
And welcome to... No.
Not mating with you. Go ahead, bring it up. No, wait.
No, I'm kidding.
That Sally Hawkins and her like fish lover can have sex is if she fills the bathroom, like he's living in like the bathtub, I guess. She fills the whole room up with water.
That's not even possible.
In this world.
The whole room up with water?
Yeah, I think room.
Won't she die?
Yeah, it's a fictional fantasy movie.
But it should at
how it
least have a
works.
little common sense.
Honestly, maybe like her head is above the water. I don't know. I haven't actually seen the film. I don't plan on it.
Why wouldn't she just get in the tank with him? There's a tank, right?
Is the tank in her bathroom?
No, he was in a tank, and then she saves him from the tank because he was at like a research facility, and they were going to kill him or something. So she saves him and puts him in her bathtub.
This reminds me of that anime, My Roommate is a Mermaid.
Yeah, only that anime was better.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen the movie.
Does she have one of those like really tall step-in showers?
But it also is not set during present day, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, it looked like it was
the
20s.
So it's like a big horse trough?
No, I mean, it's like...
It's one of the big bathtubs, that stood alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, this really doesn't require this much discussion.
But it does.
It's a silly...
I've seen one of the
bathtubs
getting
in the
nominated.
1800s.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
In
Wonder
person.
Woman couldn't get anything at all. And
Well,
I
that
thought was an incredible...
It's a comic book movie, and so
true.
it's not just...
Harry Potter didn't get any
but-
nominations either.
I mean, maybe it won't be, and then that'll be very controversial, but I think Black Panther will get nominated for something.
So,
Boy.
parents, and their house is from the 1800s. It's really old, and in the attic is a bathtub from the
weird.
1800s.
Like one of the one of those
They
big
just,
ones.
I mean, it's huge,
Haunted
so they
bathtub.
haven't like moved it or anything. But I don't think they have.
Just have one of those big bathtubs.
This one's like a metal trough. I'm just saying.
Great.
Welcome to Peeves and Qs. I'm your host this week, Clever Girl, and welcome to Peeves and Qs, a weekly podcast about things that annoy us, and we ask each other questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like I already said, I'm your host this week, graciously given by my lover, Mr. Red.
Hi, I'm Lover.
And two of my very best friends, Carmen Sandiego
Hi, guys.
and Woods, L.
Hello.
We're back.
We are back from a long hiatus.
Well,
Mischief Gay and Chocolate Thunder might be joining later on this episode, but don't count on it.
they're getting tattoos.
They're getting tattoos.
Woods, Elle and I are laughing at a gigantic stuffed teddy bear that's now dead.
I was trying to lean up against Barry Barlow, and he's not as stiff as I thought he was going to be.
I think I've seen pictures and like videos of these things going around. They seem to be pretty popular right now, but they're like the giant, almost little kid-sized teddy bear. You know?
Yeah, and people cut them open and then put a child in them and scare other people with that. Have you not seen that?
No.
That's why I was terrified when you pulled this thing
why
out
would
of here.
you bring that up?
Who would be inside of that?
Like, children.
Let's not talk about this.
I seen one where some girl was like twerking in one, and I was like, this is
No, the one where it's a cute
excessive.
bear and they squeeze it and it's got fangs.
Oh, yeah.
those are cool. Those are cool.
So I got this bear because it was just Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day!
Which brings us into our first question of how is everybody?
My
Oh.
mom got me a Valentine.
Me too.
Aw.
Hey, look at us.
My mom took me to Michael's today and bought my Valentine's Day gift.
My mom gave Clever Girl some flowers the other day.
Yeah, last week.
That was nice.
Before Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's those ones.
Yep.
I was very surprised.
Yeah, look very closely at this podcast. You can see them.
Audience, you can see them.
They sound like this.
What if the vase fell over?
That'd be really funny.
Creepy.
I'm good.
You're good.
I just saw a movie. How
Me
was
too.
everybody else?
Me too.
What movie? Black Panther. It just came
I
out.
saw a different one. Go ahead.
Black Panther was very good. I loved it. What did you see?
I saw 50 Shades Freed.
Very different sort of film. Yeah.
I didn't like it. But I'll tell you why later.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
How has everyone else been?
Good.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That didn't sound too confident what's come, Elle.
I found out I'm going on to
Alright.
Florida in March. So I'm very
What?
excited.
Oh, for what?
Wow.
Family
Just
vacation?
with the fam. Yeah. Family
Aw,
vacation.
and what-
Visiting a family friend.
You haven't gone on a vacation in a long time.
No. Oh, well, not like a vacation, like out
Where you
of
go,
state.
like up
Camping or
north.
like up north, yeah, but like
Which is a Michigan term for all the people who don't live in Michigan. Like,
I think every place has an up north.
yeah, but like when you say it in Michigan, we're already very north.
Yeah.
And so I
go
love.
farther north.
We used to have like foreign exchange students come to school, and
Right.
we'd be like, "Oh, I'm going up north this weekend." And they'd be like, "What?"
Aren't you already up north?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, pretty
So.
much. But yeah, we're doing that. That's really fun. And for Valentine's Day, I bought myself a massage, and it was great.
Nice.
Treat
So relaxing.
yourself.
Treat yourself.
Did you get it on Valentine's Day?
Yes, I did because I did not have to work.
Have you ever? Sub question: have you ever gotten a massage? Anyone?
Yes.
You have? I've never gotten a professional
I have
massage.
to get
I'll
Me
tell
neither.
you.
I have to get them.
Do you like deep tissue?
Do I? I have no idea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm guessing I would.
what? Do you want this?
Yes, but I was trying to be silent about it. Thank you.
Okay. I have a friend who, my sister's friend, she does massages and she's really good. She does like the deep tissue massages. And
Well,
she probably does it. She does it at like I think it's like $45 for an hour,
Well,
which
that
isn't
sounds good.
bad.
Yeah.
That's about
Mm-hmm. That's kind of.
How do you feel about massages? I feel like you wouldn't like them.
Me?
From other people?
Whatever. I've never had one. I don't see the appeal, but I'm sure.
What?
Don't see the appeal, but I think it'd be
I'd
fine.
rather get a facial than
Okay.
Facials are
a
awesome.
massage.
Mhm.
I feel like I've got like issues like as far as like my back. bothers me,
Right,
like, different
right.
things bother me, so
Right.
I have to get it every so often anyway.
Right.
Just because otherwise I feel like I would just be like a crippled person.
Do both of you go to the chiropractor?
Yes. I do.
Yes.
Great.
Again, not sounding too
I don't go-
confident.
I don't go all the time.
No.
I used to go more often, but I don't go all the
I
time.
just like
I'm just
never
like,
go anywhere.
I've started like trying to stretch in the morning and at night
Mhm.
every single day, and
Yeah.
it's helped me a lot. And I haven't gone to the chiropractor as much.
I have
That's
that
what
psoriatic nerve problem with like discs,
I do. Mhm.
ruptured discs.
It makes me very scared to like get older that I will have like a problem that is chronic and like constant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm not looking forward to.
So you should go to the chiropractor.
But I don't have an issue right
Yeah,
now.
you're not. Yeah, it's preventative. You
Yeah.
go to stop yourself from having problems.
I guess.
I mean, all the chiropractor's going to do is they're going to align your back.
Yeah,
Right.
Mhm.
Or
Which-
your hips or whatever needs to be aligned.
Which helps.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess I could use that because I do notice that I stand on one leg like
Yeah.
more than the
Yeah, I
other.
thought that was weird
Not
how
bad.
you just like lift up one of your legs and you try to balance yourself for prolonged periods
Shut
of time.
up.
I do that too.
I always try to call you out.
I'm a dancer by nature, and so I stand in fifth position all the time. But then I'll just like
Fifth position.
I'll just coupe the one foot, and
Coupe?
so I'm standing on one foot basically
Yeah.
all day long.
Now, how do you transition from a coupe into a toupee?
You don't.
Okay,
Two
great.
different things.
Awesome.
This is horrible.
Well,
I think we'll move on to our next segment, which is peeves.
peeves.
Yeah.
I'm peeved.
Okay.
Who else is peeved? Are you peeved?
Well,
She's not confident in this episode.
I would say I'm peevish.
Maybe. What's your peeve, Mr. Ed?
Oh, I don't know. Let me think about it. I have it on. I have a
on.
list.
You
It's,
have
I
your
just
peeve.
don't have it
You have your
accessible.
peeve?
I feel like my peeve's gonna like
Everybody.
transfer into other things.
Oh, okay.
So.
Mm.
Actually, it's not. My peeve, my question
Okay.
is about later.
Do your peeve
Okay. My peeve, and I do this a lot. Most of my peeves are, I'd say 50% of my peeves are peeves about myself that I do.
Mhm.
And I made a huge discovery probably this week or maybe a week and a half ago that I have never truly forgave anyone
Mhm.
ever. And like, I know. I honestly do not believe in what forgiveness is.
But you don't believe in it? Or
I
you don't know how to do it?
I don't think anyone needs forgiveness.
Really?
Because whatever they have done, I truly feel like people mean what they have done.
Even if it's an accident.
Even if it's an
But
accident.
even
You
if they,
still
like,
meant...
later on, if they're like, you know what, at the time I meant to do that, but now I see, like, I was really wrong.
Yeah.
I guess, but I just don't understand how I can forgive you when at the time you were doing on instinct what you thought was right or what you were feeling.
But
I can't forgive you for how you truly felt.
At time, time
Well,
goes
at the
on,
time.
and people always have regrets. Like, if you
Yeah,
regret
I understand
something,
that people make mistakes.
Yeah, then, I mean...
I guess I just don't... Maybe it's because I don't forget.
Well, because if that means you're holding everyone to, like, a standard of perfection, which is impossible.
Because everybody's going to
Yeah.
make mistakes, and everybody at some time or another is probably going to hurt your feelings,
Or, like, disappoint you.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
just-
just human nature.
Yeah, I guess I do have just a huge problem forgiving people. I hold grudges
So
like
do I.
like nobody's business.
Mhm.
But I like dug deeper into it, and I was like, I truly just never have forgiven anyone.
Mm-hmm.
What if someone just, like, knocks over a vase and breaks it and it was, like, just a trip?
That's an accident, and I don't think you need forgiveness for that
That is
because it was a true
Yeah.
It was
like
a-
this?
like
And I was like,
because I believe that was a true accident.
Uh-huh. So, if they say, I'm sorry, then what would you say?
You don't need to be because it was an accident.
Okay,
so
but they
therefore you
feel-
don't need. Well, don't because it's not a problem. God.
Okay.
See, so like that's what it is. And Mr. Ed and I have the conversation all the time of
Yeah.
what does I'm sorry mean to you versus what does I'm sorry mean to me.
Right.
And it's two completely different things.
Which I think is silly.
Well, that's your opinion.
I don't know. I feel that I don't know. For me, it's something that I need to do, so I don't hold that my entire life, holding all those grudges, which I can't say that I've really perfectly done because there's a lot of things that I have forgiven with people and just moved on. Of course, you're still going to remember. You know, if somebody starts a rumor about you that you know they did, and even if you know that you remember, oh, maybe I shouldn't tell that person anything that I don't want them to tell or something like that. But I don't know. I've forgiven a lot of things, but I mean,
you can forgive someone, but not forget.
Exactly. And but if you can't forget, are you truly ever forgiving?
yes,
Yeah.
Because
I just have the hardest time differentiating what those two things mean.
I struggle.
guess.
I struggle, especially like with those girls from high school. I do struggle because they totally meant it completely.
Exactly.
And I don't think that they would. I really don't think at this day and age they'd even care, or they would still do the same thing. But I don't know, so it's hard to move on. But
Exactly. I guess I
feel
have a
like
lot of those. but-
best for me to move on and not care anymore about them
You
because
have
they're
to
not
just
a part
put
of
it
my
like
life.
out
you
of
know?
your mind because what good is you holding on to that? Because
Yeah.
they aren't thinking, like whoever this person.
Mhm. It hurts you.
I
more
have.
than it hurts
They
them.
say that, but I can't get past the fact that if I seem like I'm okay, and if I have forgiven somebody, they haven't learned anything.
And they won't.
But they don't care.
I know. But it is so hard for me to be nice to people who have done me wrong.
Yeah.
Because I won't forgive them. Because they don't deserve my forgiveness, I guess. But I also don't know what forgiveness is.
I
so.
will forgive. I will forgive, but I won't forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
It's
I
kind
think,
of a thing.
yeah,
You're
I'm not
cautious of it,
I
but
guess.
I will forgive. I've forgiven a few people for things. You're like, well, how could you ever? Well, I have, and it's hard.
Yeah.
But I know deep down, even if some things I know I should.
I guess just everything I do with intention. So even if I do something wrong, or I say something that maybe isn't very nice, I still said it. And I still mean it.
Yeah, but-
Even if I say, if I'm like, ooh, I feel bad that I hurt that person's feelings, and maybe that's not how I intended it to be, But I guess I don't ever seek, like, forgiveness. I just kind of have to live with the fact that I did that, and I have to kind of own up to it. And I guess I just feel like that's how everybody else feels.
No, because not everyone's like you.
I know. But I it's hard to think of what other people want.
If I hurt somebody's feelings, like if I say something on accident or, you know, just something, and I feel bad for so long.
Me too.
Like,
I think that's
really
human.
gets me. And I just feel so bad for so long. And I constantly think, you know, I hope that they're, you know.
You hope that they don't think about it?
Yeah.
And
I have a
hope
lot
that
of
they,
moments
you
like
know,
that.
forgive me for hurting them, even though I didn't mean it, and they don't know I didn't mean it. I just didn't, you know.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people think, this is so selfish, I wonder how many people think of me, and like maybe they've done something to me, but I never give that a second thought.
I'm sure.
Or maybe someone, I've done,
everybody.
I don't know. I'm extremely sensitive.
Well,
but-
because if you think, I'm a fairly sensitive person. Like,
Yeah,
I was
me too.
definitely more so when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like, there are moments that have stuck with me my entire life from when I was younger.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So you ever think, like, what was a moment for somebody else that, like, maybe I accidentally...
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
Because I'm sure
And you
that
just don't
happened.
remember or don't think that hurt that
Yeah,
person.
because I'm sure to them, they would have forgotten it because it wasn't a significant moment to them.
But it might have been. You just,
You don't
never
know.
I am a very forgivable person.
You are
because,
too much, so.
because I don't know what it is, but I think I'm just like not very emotionally accessible or whatever you would call it. So when somebody does something wrong to me, you know, I'm upset with it for like a couple of minutes, but then that feeling just slowly fades away and I don't really think about it. But next time I see that person, I'm just like, hey, what's up?
I manipulate my life due to that.
Oh, no.
Due to my not forgivenesses.
Yeah.
I completely do.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. But that's my choice.
If it makes you happy.
I mean, nothing makes me happy.
Right, well.
I just think to carry that around with you, maybe not consciously every day, it's not like you're not aware of it, but it's a lot of weight to carry around with you.
Yeah. I just don't want to shed it. Maybe I'll get to a day where I want to, but
yeah.
I'm definitely not there. And I don't think that anybody can push you to forgive.
No.
You have to be
no.
ready.
Yeah.
So that's my peeve.
Great. That was a pretty light topic.
Yeah.
I'll transition. Do you want me to go next?
Sure.
Okay. So, my peeve is a little lighter. It's,
Good.
when people try to, it's hard to explain. When people make jokes, but not to be funny, just because it's a thing they heard, and now they're just saying it. It's almost like free word association.
Yeah.
A lot of members of my family
Yeah.
have this, where somebody will say, like, oh, that looks very crusty or whatever, and they'll be like, the Krusty Krab, and they just turn back to whatever they're doing, and they didn't even make a joke. They're just saying a thing that they heard. And they're not...
Your reaction is the joke.
But nobody reacts. Like, I will be annoyed because they're deliberately trying... They're not even trying to be funny. I think they're just saying it.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
right.
so angry.
I get it. Yeah.
The first thing that pops into their head.
You're
Yeah.
right.
I hate it. I hate it. And it'd be one thing if they, like, laughed about it because it's like, oh, you're trying to make a pun or you're trying to make a joke, you're trying to be funny. But they're not doing that. They're just saying a thing. And it's just so stupid. It's like, you could free up so much time in the conversation if you don't say stuff like that and let people talk. I hate it.
Now, do you hate it so much because
Yes.
it's your family?
Well,
Because I feel like that is my type of comedy.
no, but
But I at least laugh at my own jokes.
wait a second. Yeah, because you're recognizing it as a comedy. I don't even know that these
okay.
people would say that they were making a joke.
Oh, okay.
I think they're just saying it because it's
yeah,
like
that's a completely different
yeah,
thing.
it just the first thing that pops into their head. Well, yeah.
It'd be really funny if it was an actual pun, because
Yeah.
I enjoy puns.
Yeah.
or like I sometimes will say stuff where I'll throw in a phrase in the middle of a sentence where the phrase doesn't make sense. Like I would say like, oh, this whole thing looks pretty Krusty Krab to me. Because that I think is a little funny.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying a sentence and then somebody else responding to it with just, again, three-word association.
But we did it last week while watching Match. I was asking, where is this character?
Uh-huh.
And you said, they're there. And I went, they're there.
No.
It was the funniest thing in the world.
Again, you were making a joke. You were saying, hey, you
I
said
didn't
a
know
thing
it at the
and
time.
it sounds like this.
I just say some stuff and I really hope that you
All right.
So I'm depending on you to make sure that it's funny.
Great. Well,
Maybe they're depending on you.
Well, they're not.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Great.
No, that would be really annoying.
Mm-hmm. It is. So, that's my peeve.
Do you think that's like on the spectrum?
No.
It sounds like it is.
I mean, it might be, but... Is it on the spectrum to be annoyed by it?
Maybe.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? That's your opinion.
Yeah. That's just like your opinion. All right. See, I just did it. And I didn't even realize it.
Now I'm never going to make jokes.
No, you can make jokes. Again, if you're trying to be funny.
I don't know unless you laugh.
Are you trying to make me laugh?
Your intent is
Maybe.
Then, yeah. If you're trying to make someone laugh, that's it.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. Cool.
That's my peeve. I'm very angry about this.
What's coming? Elle, do you have a peeve?
Just, like, annoying people who are rude. We've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, today when my mom and I were at Walmart, some lady just like, crashed right into our cart and it went flying across and hit the weigher machine.
Wow.
And I was...
Were you mortified? Like, that would mortify me.
It scared me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also, afterwards, I was like, oh my god, woman. What's your deal?
Yeah.
What's your
And
deal? What did I
didn't
do
look,
to you?
She just kept going. And I was like, oh my
Maybe
God,
she was
goodness.
embarrassed. But probably not.
Oh, but she hit that car hard. Like, that was not an accident. I think she was just mad because it was kind of crowded.
Oh.
Which is why I put my cart off to the side in the first place.
There were a ton of people out today. I went shopping and there were a ton of people just everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate the grocery store.
Yeah.
And like,
I think people are very rude at the grocery store because they do stop in the middle of the aisle.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate that.
I know.
Ugh.
See, that's the thing.
because they're not thinking of that. They're thinking of whatever the heck they're doing.
I know.
Yeah, especially when they have kids and they're not watching their kids and they're just in the middle of the
Their
aisle.
kids are
and they're
gonna
like,
get
"Can I get
snatched.
through?
Their
Can I
kids are
get
gonna get
through?"
snatched.
Right. Your kids are gonna get
Yeah,
snatched.
whenever I'm out with any tiny person, I'm like, you have to hold my hand, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Like, no.
I went shopping with my mom today, and I wouldn't say she's like one of those rude people that stops in the middle of the aisle, because she's not. But she'll like back up to like look at something on the higher shelf and not look behind her and just like ram into people. I'm like, Mom! That I do it all the time. I seriously like hold her arm. I'm like, no, you have to look behind you.
You do that to everyone.
Turn
Oh, I
away
do?
from her cart,
Yeah.
and I'm like, your purse, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moms. Jeez.
Moms. Come on, moms.
Belt those purses in.
Yeah, she does do that, but
Then they get stuck, and then people like me, back when I worked at a place like that, have to like try to get them out.
Oh, I've never had one get stuck.
I got an itch on my back, and I'm having a hard time reaching.
You're like contorting yourself.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something about mothers.
But then you forgot. Catchphrase. Take a shot.
I know. Oh, and then my mom will be like, I can see. And it's like, oh, can you? You were going to literally run into somebody.
But she didn't.
But she would have if
But
I
she
didn't stop her.
You don't know that. You cannot see alternate realities.
Yes, I can. I'm a clever girl.
Great.
And I can.
Great. Awesome. That's a good peeve.
San Diego.
of all of my peeves, which shall I choose? Okay, when someone gives you, I'll make it vague, when someone gives you responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
but then doesn't trust you to have that responsibility, so they like
Yep.
continuously either check in with you or like
Or
micromanage you.
Yeah.
That is obnoxious, because then just do it yourself.
Exactly.
Yep, I don't want to do it.
I
I hear them.
agree.
They might be your neighbors.
Yeah, if you can tell yours, but I'm going to unlock the doors.
So yeah, that would be it. Just no. Like, let me do it, trust that I can do this task, whatever. Or you do it yourself, because
Yes.
you're just, like, what's the point of you hovering over me while I do it?
I used to run the Facebook for my office that I work at, and that's exactly what happened. They got to the point where it's like, I had to run every post by them.
It's like, what's
And I'm like, listen, Nobody looks at our posts anyway.
Right.
I make sure everything is spelled right. And
I don't say anything offensive.
yeah, I don't say
fine.
it's literally the most generic stuff that you might find interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually I was just like, I'm like, you are not even giving me time to do this job at work, so you can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Today, I was in class for college class, and I had a problem with one of the assignments we were using computer program, and I asked the professor to come over and help. And I was just saying, hey, I've gotten to this point. I don't know what the next step is because things aren't looking the way they should in the book and everything. And he was just like, oh, well, you did this, you did this step wrong like a couple steps ago. So, and then he like sat down and he started like deleting like half of the stuff that I had done. And I was like, it's actually like this. And he started like doing all of it. And I was like, well, this is easy.
Were you just lost?
Yeah,
like,
kind
were
of.
you watching him?
Yeah, I was trying to pay attention to what he was doing, but he was using like hotkeys and just like clicking things. And I was just like, I don't know how you got there, and it was just, oh, so you can just do this and turn it in for me if you're just going to do it.
Yeah. It's just like relinquish control of something.
Yeah.
Which I also can play devil's advocate. I'm very controlling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Newsflash. But yeah, so sometimes it's hard. But there are more people out there who are more controlling than myself, and they need to work it out.
I feel like if I were a boss, I would have a hard time with that. If I said, hey, somebody do something, do it like this, and do it this specifically, and do it like, let me just do it, and then just take over.
You think you would do that?
Yeah, I feel like I would have a hard time being like, do this, bye. But who's just...
I think I would give somebody the opportunity to do it, and then if they like didn't do it well, then I would be, which that's kind of what I've done to people. I'm like, you didn't listen to the directions that I gave you, and you're acting like you're incompetent. Like, are you incompetent? Like, can you do this?
Yes.
Or are you just not applying yourself?
Yes.
Because that's an issue.
Yes.
Either way.
Yeah.
You better watch out. Carmen Sandiego murder your ass. Good. Well, I think that wraps up our peeves.
And
Hopefully,
that's about it.
hope everyone feels better that they got those out.
Right.
I
Therapy.
personally don't.
Great.
So we'll move on to questions.
We'll move on. First, before we do questions, I have an announcement I'd like to make.
Oh.
I have a theory.
A game theory, sorry.
Stop that. See?
Stop. It was funny.
Okay, great.
I said it with the intent of laughter.
Oh, good. Well done. I think that every Bruce Willis character is a Republican.
Even
That's
the
my
one
theory.
in Pulp Fiction?
Especially the one in Pulp Fiction, yeah. Well, maybe not especially, but yeah, probably, yeah, the one in Pulp Fiction too. He has this new movie coming out called Death Wish. It's called Death Wish, where
Safety first.
Safety Last or something.
Yeah, Death Wish.
That'd be a good title for a movie, Safety Last. Anyway, we saw a trailer for this during 50 Shades, where
I've been seeing trailers for it because it's
his family gets kidnapped, and so he decides.
No, his house gets invaded.
Right, and his wife dies.
And his daughter. Spoilers.
I think she's in the hospital.
No.
She's in the hospital.
No,
She's
he
fine.
said I lost my wife and daughter.
All right. Either way, something bad happens to him, so he decides to take the law into his own hands, and he like grabs a gun and starts training, and he goes after these people, and it's just like, this is such a...
What is this from, though?
This is his new movie.
It's newest movie, yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've seen a trailer for this. I feel like
And it just like really taps into like the political sphere right now of like, should civilians have guns and like just be allowed to do whatever they want. And this movie, I think, takes a hard stance on this guy has to take the law into his own hands. Of course, I haven't seen it, so I don't know if like the plot of the movie is that like this is bad and that he has to like give up his violent lifestyle.
It's a new movie about Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
It's not about Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is in it, sorry.
Yeah. Starring Bruce Willis as Bruce Willis. So I just feel like all his characters, Die Hard, other Die Hard movies, they're all just like, I'm a man and I'm going to do the man thing and do my own man thing.
Even Look Who's Talking. And look
especially Look Who's Talking
now.
I haven't seen those, but
I don't think so.
I'm sure you could mine them for nuggets of conservatism.
Sure.
That's all I have to say on the matter. Bruce Willis, he's in some good movies, but
There's like that Red movie.
yeah, that was cool.
I'm not familiar with his movie.
Me either. I don't like Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I don't like his style of acting. Don't come and kill me, Bruce Willis.
What style of acting? His like, I'm angry and I'm grumpy and I growl instead of speak.
Yeah,
That
that
style
one.
of acting.
But he was in. It's got Red in the title, and it might just be called Red.
Yeah, it's called Red.
And it's got Meryl Streep in it.
I don't think
It's got
so.
some old lady actress,
Oh my gosh!
but she's really good. And that character did not
Dame
seem.
Helen Mirren. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you know what?
I think it is Helen Mirren.
Like, is it literally because she's in action movies now? Like several.
Yeah, that character
She's cool.
That character seems like a Democrat, but we are not supposed to stereotype people into. Good job, Carmen.
If anyone would have like pulled that out of thin air, it would be me.
Those movies are supposed to be good, though. John Malkovich is in them, and he's only in good movies.
Stereotyping, or generalizing. Well, that kind of seemed like a question, but it wasn't. Do you want to move on to your real question?
Mine?
I
don't wanna go first.
Do we think that that's true?
No, I just think he wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it. It's true.
Wait,
It's not true, it's an opinion
No.
me just slightly.
I said all Bruce Willis characters are Republicans.
in his movies.
Oh, who cares?
All his characters.
I'm like,
Exactly.
I'm just saying. I'm
I
just saying.
mean, well, you know what?
It's just a theory.
Move on to your questions.
Yeah.
We can move on from
Yeah,
this.
my question I had when we were out eating today, spoilers, we went to eat, and I wrote it down. My question. Oh, so this is one that I've already asked on the show.
Yes?
Do you have a headache?
A little bit. Go ahead.
But it was with the other group, and I would like to bring it up again here because I think it could be fun. What would you consider to be the worst movie you've ever seen?
Now, in what context?
The worst experience that you had in watching
In
it?
negativity or in joy?
No, in negativity. I think there's a special category for movies that are so bad they're good.
okay.
I'm talking
Like
about...
47 meters down.
I disagree. I think that was just bad.
I mean, I'd watch it again just to laugh at it.
Okay, so I have... Can we do two?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. One for joy and one for hate.
Sure, yeah, that's a good
Okay,
idea.
so I have a movie experience itself that was bad, and then I have a movie that I watched and I was like, this movie is just like awful.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie that I watched that was just awful, as I'm watching it, I'm like, I think I've made a horrible mistake.
I've made a huge
Was
mistake.
the original Kingsman movie?
Oh.
Wait, from like
The Kingsman movie.
a couple of years ago?
Yeah, because they just made a new
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I thought that was so bad because I didn't expect it to be what it was. I thought it was
Yeah,
gonna be
the
like
commercials were like...
a straight like a spy movie. Then I was like, wait, what?
I thought it was
Wait,
pretty
what?
good. I thought it was like a fun...
When, spoiler alert, people, I'm sure if you were going to see it, you would have
Yeah.
seen it. When their heads explode to the music at the end, people's heads are exploding.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm just like,
That's tasteless.
it's
What?
the whole thing. It's just like, and she has like the blade legs.
She was cool.
I am so confused, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a wacky
It's
movie.
called
So
Kingsman.
I think-
it's wacky. Like
It's got the guy who was in
Is it like
The King's Speech.
Is it like
Yeah.
a cult fiction?
No.
No, it's got.
It's not that good.
Like a lot of people are in it. I don't know.
He is in
Not
both
all
those
cult
movies.
fiction movies are good.
Colin Firth.
Yeah, Colin Firth
True.
is in it.
I've seen one.
Samuel L.
It's
Jackson
terrible.
with a major. He has a lisp in that movie. Does he have a lisp
Yeah.
in life? But
No,
No,
no.
no.
he
Or at
doesn't.
least if he does.
He does, he acts through it
Yeah.
marvelously.
Yeah, it's awful. I'll never see it again. But a movie that I had a bad experience with is the only movie I've ever walked out of in the theaters
Ooh.
was Cloverfield.
What?
Because I, first of all, was like,
Oh.
this movie is not.
First of all, it makes you seasick
And
watching
I had a huge
I've
headache.
heard a lot of people say that
I got
made
a really
them
bad
sick.
headache, and then I was like looking to the side, and everyone in the theater is like this,
Mm.
like
Oh,
holding their head and everything. I'm like, I'm like, I looked at my friends. I was like, do you want to leave? And they're like, yeah, let's go. So we just left because it was like, that's just not my type of movie. But it was just physically, I couldn't do
Have
it.
you seen any of the other like found footage, like Paranormal Activity or Blair Witch Project,
No.
those kind of things?
Because I don't. It's just not my thing. Like I'm not even gonna like go there.
you're not even a horror movie like
No.
junkie.
No, the only time I've ever seen horror movies is when other people were like, let's go see this movie. And I'm like, I guess I'll go
I
with
hate
you.
horror
Uh-huh.
movies.
I like
I
them
love them.
once I've seen them. I
don't.
hate watching a scary movie for the first time. I hate it.
No.
I think movies like The Exorcism of Emily Rose, like that movie. I've never seen it.
It's scary.
No, because it's true.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Based on
it's
true
so,
events.
It's so warped, and it makes you scared of stuff like that, which you shouldn't be afraid of stuff like that. I'm just saying, you should not be afraid.
Stuff like what?
You know, like exorcism stuff.
No, but you should be afraid of, like,
it's
demons.
not humanly possible for your head to turn and you walk down. That's not. I've never seen the movie, but I know
That's
that
gonna
part.
happen to what's going
I'm
on.
pretty sure that's why it's scary, is because it's like, this is an
When you
impossible
think
thing.
about it, they're using real things to
I
make the real things seem more scary.
Yeah,
and
because then you could,
'Cause it's
then
based
you would be
off
like,
of
oh,
events.
it's based off of a true event, so then this
Everything
really
is true.
happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure, it's a real thing. But that stuff in that movie makes people so scared, and
It
like
is scary.
it's just, I don't know. I think it gives it a really bad. You know, people are terrified then, and that is absolutely not what you want to do. You want to be as confident and not scared of that stuff as possible in your life to, you know, or you know what, you might draw that in.
Maybe.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's deep.
I hate movies like that.
Yeah,
though.
well, because I don't like any horror movies at all. Like, I just don't like them. But, like, anything that has to deal with, like, demonic possession or, like,
That
any
freaks
of that
me out.
stuff, it's like, no, thank you, goodbye. Like,
Yes.
I won't, not gonna even touch that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's, I don't even,
I don't know. There's stuff that you
Weird
don't,
to say.
like, mess around with, I guess.
Yeah.
right, you don't mess around with it. Or, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say, for the sake of the argument, I love horror movies, and I think some of my favorite movies are like demonic, like
I love
possession
them
movies.
once I've seen them, honestly.
Yeah.
Like 13 Ghosts, love it.
No, never mind. I was just gonna say,
Love
is that
it.
the one that Paris Hilton was in? But that's House of Wax.
No, I've never seen that one. It has Matthew Lillard and Tony Shalhoub, and that one girl who was in Scary Movie, the first one.
Anna
That's what
Faris.
stays. My imagination
The first
doesn't
one.
need any help. I'm scared.
Anna Faris was in the first one.
Whoa, that was deep.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean. But like I can like in the dark, like you can just say like, oh, there's like a ghost.
Right.
Oh, you know
That's
what?
a Jaws complex, but yeah.
I think that's kind of what scary movies...
That's all.
Are-
That's exactly
what
what.
they provoke.
No, I
Yeah.
think that's what they're for. I think that's like, if you do have problems, it's like the same with action movies. You go and you're like, that was cool, but if you like never see action movies, you're probably going to be like, I need an outlet or whatever. Like romantic movies, sad movies, these are all like things for your... There's a reason art exists.
Because when I see horror movie that stays with me, like
Yeah.
the disturbing images,
Right.
they don't leave.
Somebody had to think of those.
Yeah, they stay with me
And
for too long.
I think of those all the time. I want to make a horror movie really bad. I think
Yeah.
it would terrify people.
I love hearing about what people come up with because I'm like, wow, how sadistic
That's
can your
cool.
mind
like
be?
watching like a
But-
show like Face Off where they do the makeup and stuff for that kind of stuff. That's really interesting.
Yes,
that's
it
cool.
is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's as far
I
as
don't
that
like
goes.
to invite that thought process
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I don't like that because I can get very in my head too.
So has there been a horror movie, or really any movie, excellent transition, that you have seen and hated or loved to hate?
I don't even know. Have I really ever enjoyed a horror movie?
No,
You don't know any movie.
It doesn't have to
Oh,
be.
any movie?
Yeah,
No, not
that's
just
what
the
his original question was.
Oh, just like any movie in general.
Yep.
I can't think
Yeah,
of stuff on
like
the
a
spot
bad
like that.
movie.
Well, think about it. We can move on to
Other
something
than The
else.
Room, that was a terrible movie, but I love it.
But you love watching
Yeah.
I love watching
Yeah.
it.
I have
That
it here.
has a cult following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie is beautiful.
Yes.
With how bad it is.
My love to watch or love to hate.
I'm going to preempt this with, I bet you actually just love this movie.
Pretty much, it's Babes in Toyland
Oh, okay.
from like 1988
Yeah, something
with
like
Keanu
that.
Reeves, Drew Barrymore,
And
and
that's about it.
The Barnaby Barnacles. I love it. It's horrible. It's horrible. In the beginning scene, there's this huge snowstorm, and they're singing this song, and Keanu Reeves is literally like driving like this.
He's moving his arms in like full 180
180 on
direction.
on the steering wheel, and he's like staying perfectly straight on the road.
1986. Not so perfect now, are you?
That's pretty close.
There's a movie I seen. It wasn't the worst ever. It was just so stupid.
What's
so
that?
stupid. It's like a cult type movie, which I didn't know it was, which I probably should have, but I didn't. I just seen there was an actor in it from the Orange is the New Black.
Hmm.
It was a couple years ago. I rented this movie and she was in it. It was like the real frizzy-haired one. I don't know if you guys watched that.
I
watched
don't,
it.
but
But,
I don't know the frizzy-haired one.
yeah, the one that's on drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Her, and I was like, oh, she's a really funny actress. So
She's one of my favorite characters.
grabbed that movie and watched it, and I was just like,
do you remember the name of it?
oh my gosh, I could probably look it up. It had to do something with a baby, and it was like
Baby Mama. No, just kidding.
No, she ends up having like the whole movie, pretty much 3/4 of the movie. She's just like, oh, she's an alcoholic. She's on drugs, gonna have this baby, and you're like, oh, this is so sad. The baby's
Is
gonna
it like
die.
a movie in the theaters?
No,
Oh, okay.
Straight to video.
and
Like a Lifetime?
and then the end of the movie, she just has an alien baby, and it's just this big like thing, and you're like, what?
Oh my gosh, that
Oh.
sounds.
Yeah,
She was in American Pie.
was she? I've
Natasha
never seen
Leone,
those.
right?
Yeah.
I hate those movies too.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. I'm not sure I'm pretty sure that's the one you're not talking
A
about.
movie I
No, I'm not
hate
talking-
watching
Mhm.
and just hate
Mhm.
is one that I'm sure a million people love and you even love.
Monsters.
It's Pulp Fiction.
Mhm.
I hate it. Have either of you seen Pulp
Anti-birth.
Fiction?
That's it.
Anti-birth.
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 That sounds
I
terrifying.
know, it's not.
I thought it was about a
Anti-birth.
girl like that didn't want to have a baby, and she was.
Huh.
Guys, I don't know what I was thinking.
Pulp Fiction.
Terrible.
Have
I
either of
actually
you
watched the thing after.
have either of you seen Pulp Fiction?
I know what it is, but I haven't actually seen the full
I've
thing.
watched it a bunch of times. I fell asleep every single
Chloe
time.
Sevigny is in this movie?
It- I know Quentin Tarantino is like
I
this
can't
brilliant
No,
actor or
Quentin Tarantino
director.
is like a trash person.
Yeah, he's bad now. We hate him.
Yeah, we hate him, but
Like, almost killed him with it.
Repeatedly.
yeah, seriously. But and I love Kill Bill and Kill Bill 2.
You can't watch it anymore.
I will. Those are the only ones. But oh my gosh, Pulp Fiction is just. I honestly, I don't see the point. And someone could tell me this huge, elaborate thing about what this movie's about, and I won't give a shit. It's so stupid. It has the scene in it that talk about scenes scarring you.
Mhm.
That one did, and y'all know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. So
The scene with the gimp,
the scene with Marcella.
Marcellus Wallace.
Yeah.
He's in it too.
So that's a movie I hate
Mhm.
actively. I also don't like Dark Shadows with Johnny Depp, someone who we also hate.
Oh,
Yeah, but this
That's also just a bad movie.
This is before we hate him.
didn't mind that movie. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it.
I
I hated the dog part though. That really,
I don't
really made me
remember.
mad.
I don't
don't remember.
remember. I don't remember
but
any of it.
I just remember hating it. So that's my answer.
Mhm.
And
Right.
you didn't answer. Did you answer like when you just like hated?
I hated the Kingsman, and
Oh.
I hated the experience.
What's a movie you love to hate?
She said. I thought you said the Kingsman was
The Kingsman was
that.
kind of like, it was unbelievable how bad I thought it was, and it was like almost amusing. I was like, I can't believe that they're like choreographed.
So that's
heads
like-
exploding.
Both of your answers almost.
No, because Cloverfield was the.
Oh,
Cloverfield, I
okay,
was like,
yeah.
I just cannot with the way this is
I
shot.
gotcha. Okay, but you didn't answer.
I didn't. So my movie that I said the last time we did this was, and I stand by this, that I just hated watching, wanted to walk out of.
jeez.
Fantastic Four, the 2014.
The one with Jessica Alba?
No.
No. I like those movies. Those are supposed to be bad. Like people say that they're bad.
Yeah.
I really
Those are
like
at
them.
least like entertaining.
Yeah.
Those are like Joel Schumacher Batmans.
They're like
They're
fun.
just what they are.
Well, they're
Shut up.
they're fun. They're just fun movies. But the newest one, I just thought wasn't even a movie. It was a collection of scenes. It didn't make any sense. None of the characters were
Who was in them?
real.
No one. No one.
Michael B. Jordan.
No one.
No, Michael B. Jordan's in.
No water.
Yeah, he's in
Well, I haven't
stuff.
seen it yet. So. Wait, was he Johnny?
Johnny Storm?
Must
Yes.
have been,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was. And Miles Teller, who has a great name, but is in some really bad movies.
He's been in a lot of weird.
He's been on some, yeah.
I just couldn't stand Sue Storm's hair, like, and her transition throughout the entire movie from wig to no
Who
wig.
was she? Who, I mean, like,
No one.
Richards. Oh, wait. Oh, you said Sue Storm.
Her name is Sue Storm.
Yeah. Who is she?
No one.
No, she's...
She is no one.
No. She's in stuff. I'm struggling to think of her name. She was in House of Cards. Oh, man.
Nobody cares.
No,
I
she's...
just thought of a really...
She has a
I
name.
thought of one.
I don't remember.
But now I don't know the name of it again.
Oh, gosh.
It's this movie. It's awful, but you like it at the same time. It's one of those.
47 years?
2015.
No, it has Lindsay Lohan in it, and she's a twin again.
Oh.
She's a twin again. Yeah.
Jesus.
She's older in this movie. Nobody knows what
Nobody
I'm
knows
talking about.
what
Oh my god, we have to watch it.
Was it a
Kate
Disney
Mara.
movie?
Oh,
No.
Yeah,
it's
so you know
like
who
a
she
horror
is.
type
She is.
movie.
Kate
Oh.
Mara.
Like Rooney Mara's sister. And also
Scary.
she's been in a bunch of stuff.
But it's
She's Rooney
so
Mara's
cheesy
sister.
that it's
That
not
makes sense.
scary.
She's in some bad stuff, too.
She's been in some... She was in We Are Marshall.
While we're speaking of movies and actresses, I do have to put a
APB. Put out an APB.
I do. We had. I think the last time that we recorded, we were talking about Greatest Showman, and I was really impressed about
So good.
Zendaya?
Zendaya, and I was like, wow, she's really grown. Little did I know that's not who I was actually thinking of. I was thinking of Rita Ora, who was in 50 Shades of Grey, and I was like, wow, she was really terrible in that, and then really good in this. I thought they were the same person. Racist me.
Yeah. I was like, nah.
I feel like they do look alike, and I really hope that doesn't
I
sound.
don't think that they do.
You know, I've seen 3 50 Shades of Grey movies,
And you couldn't.
and I couldn't pick her out of a line. I have no idea what Rita
She's
Ora
his
looks
sister.
like. Yeah, fine. You know, everyone is just kind of
She's his
vaguely
sister.
related to that movie. It's just
You're
like,
right.
oh,
She's
everyone's friends.
Because they're adopted.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
I figured out the name.
And so anyway, Rita Ora, you're probably still really bad, but Zendaya, you've probably always been good. So that's all I wanted to say.
You know what she was good in? You know what she was good in? Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay,
a
but
great
she
movie.
was only in, like, this much of that movie.
Spider-Man?
You know who else was also in this much of that movie? And that's the only part I want to see. Donald Glover.
Yeah, he was very small part of that movie.
He's
but
playing Simba on Broadway right now?
I thought they were making a movie and he was in.
Maybe.
That might be true.
Not Don Glover.
Donald.
Not
Glover.
Donnie Glover.
No.
Donald Glover.
What about Donnie Wahlberg? We're getting off track here.
Anyway,
so that's the movie that I said, but probably the movie that I another one, just to say something different. Meet the Spartans. Have you guys seen Meet the
I haven't
Spartans?
seen
No.
I think
Is
we were
this
talking about.
that's one of those spoofs on
Yes.
300?
Right. It's like disaster movie, scary movie, epic movie. All these movies
Mm-hmm.
are garbage. They're not for anyone. Nobody
No.
likes those movies.
I can't even remember them.
Right.
I hate
Like, I
all those-
think the
I like
first two
scary
scary
movie.
movies, right?
I don't
First
like
three.
the
I like the
first
first
three.
three. After that, they're trash.
Or
Because they
Ace
probably
Ventura
are trying
movies.
too
Hate
hard.
them.
What? I can't hate anything that Jim Carrey's in. I just love Jim
I
Carrey.
Those
figured out
movies
the
are
name
pretty
of that
dated.
movie. It's called I Know Who Killed Me.
Oh,
You
great.
guys kind of have to watch it.
Is that
but
where
it's
she comes
really
back
good.
to life and tries to
Kinda
people to,
don't.
like, solve her murder? Or something?
Well, like, I don't know.
Oh, I
It
think
doesn't really
I've
say.
heard.
I mean, she has like
Who is
apparently
it?
she has it's Lindsay Lohan. She like has a twin sister, and that twin sister finds out who. It's
It was
Weird.
Theaters?
It's freaking me
Yeah,
out.
So, Meet the Spartans. These movies are like I said about people telling jokes that aren't jokes. These entire series of films are like references that aren't jokes. Like there'll be topical, or sometimes not even. Like Meet the Spartans is a parody of 300. And there's the scene where he famously kicks somebody into this giant pit. And in this movie, he does this to like multiple.
Like Harry Potter, right?
I don't remember exactly, but I know at one point, like one of the people that he kicks in is like Britney Spears shaving her head, and he kicks her in, and it's just like
2007.
and it's just like what, somebody who worked on this movie made a decision to put that in, and I want to know why. I want to know who.
Because at the moment, it was topical.
Yeah, but who cares if it was
Somebody be like, this isn't
topical?
gonna hold up.
I really don't like.
That's
those
what they
kind
don't
of
care
movies.
about.
Yeah, exactly.
I still
There's-
find them funny, but that's
no,
just my opinion.
No, nobody does. I don't think anyone
You know what?
does.
I think the original movie of like that type of thing was, and I don't think people classify it. Have you ever seen the movie Not Another Teen Movie?
Oh yeah,
With Chris Evans,
people say that's
Mr.
good.
Captain America.
Yeah.
It is really good, and he's fine in that movie because he has dark hair.
If you've ever seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, he's in that too.
You're right. He's also in Push.
He's in a lot
All of these,
stuff.
he has dark hair and he is very good looking. Not that he's not good looking with light hair, but
He has dark hair now.
Sausage Party.
oh,
I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it
It
either.
looks-
I feel like Mischief Gay loves that movie.
Yeah, because they went to see it.
Yeah,
I got
you're
invited
right.
To go, and I was like, "You guys, I will never see that movie."
No.
So those are the two movies that I like hate. But the obvious one that I
Love to hate.
love to hate is The Room. Everyone
Oh my gosh.
knows
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
It's a classic. It's so.
Cringy.
It's like you start watching it and you think it's like, okay, I don't need to watch the rest of this because, like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just keeps going in like such wild direction. They recast one of the characters halfway through, but then bring the original actor back, like just one.
That's like Sue Storm's hair.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, and then there's like plots.
Yeah, there's
don't
like
make any sense.
Yeah, like they'll just halfway through the movie, it's just like her, one of the characters' mother comes. It's like, well, I have breast cancer, and it's like, oh, are we dealing with this now? Never brought up again. It's just referenced. It's like, okay, this is going on. There's like weirdly just pictures of spoons in framed pictures of spoons in the background of multiple shots. It's almost like I have a really hard time believing sometimes that this wasn't intentional because of how...
I don't think it was. Because
yeah, it just can't be.
Because Tommy Wiseau still...
Yeah, he's insane. He's a madman. I've heard he's super nice.
I think he just has something like he's just that kind of weird, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think...
Yeah.
Because if you see interviews from a while ago, he doesn't think it's a funny movie.
No, he doesn't. He
was very serious about it.
Like even to this day, he's still just like people think it's funny, so it must be like a black comedy or whatever. Like that's how he categorizes it now. But it's not funny. It's only funny because it's so bad. But so that's the obvious answer. But my other answer is going to be Babes in Toyland because that movie is pretty bad.
Like love to watch or love to hate?
I get a lot of enjoyment out of it because it's so just ridiculous.
I love it.
And you love it. And you like genuinely love it.
I come from CINCIN and ATI.
The bad guy in that movie is so cartoonish. He has like long clawed fingers.
One long thumbnail and he points with it.
He points with his... Yeah, and his name is Barnaby Barnacles, which we've decided is now a swear, and we'll say that while pointing like he does, so we'll just be like, Barnaby Barnacle!
It's brought us so much joy. I don't know why anyone would
trash.
It.
All right, so...
I'm wanting to bring stuff up, but I can't because it's about like family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Someone I know points like this right in your face.
Ooh. And that was the middle finger, by the way.
Yeah.
You don't point
right in your face. Like you're pointing, but
you're not.
In your face. So those
Good
are
question.
Bad movies.
I think you should transition into your thing about your...
My question?
Sure. It's about a movie.
It's about a movie.
Is it?
It's about 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh.
And,
I've seen that.
I just kind of want to know what everyone thinks of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I will not start.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
Whoever.
Has anyone ever read the books?
I read the first book.
You read the first book. I have not read any of the books.
Well, I will say this. I didn't finish the first book, but I read the first book.
Yeah.
My grandma reads Danielle Steele.
Those are different.
I'm just like,
right? No?
I don't know, because I've read the back.
She's the author, isn't she?
No, she's not.
Oh, E.L. James is.
Yeah.
Oh, Danielle Steele. Yeah, she writes like a lot of... Or is it...
Danielle Steele writes like
romance
it's like
Yeah.
mystery-ish kind of stuff.
I feel like she's a real writer, and this 50 Shades of Grey woman
My watch is
isn't.
telling me to stand up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
yeah, mine did too.
Technology, it rules us all.
There's this other podcast that I'd like to plug, even though no other podcasts exist, which is called the Bechdel Cast, which is about... I've talked about it before. It's the Bechdel Test podcast, and they just talk about women in movies. And they talked about the original 50 Shades of Grey. And one point that they brought up, which I found really intriguing, was that we have all of these like male teenager movies or like male like teenage fantasy movies like Transformers, which are like everyone acknowledges, even the people who love them, they're stupid and they're just fun, stupid movies. And 50 Shades of Grey and like Twilight and things like that are that, but for women.
Generally, don't stereotype, but yes.
Well, right, generally, but like the idea is they're like dumb, stupid movies that like women could be enjoying.
I agree.
But we stigmatize them so heavily. Like, if you say you like Twilight, everyone's like, ugh, those movies are garbage.
But we never say that about the people who like Transformers.
Right,
those movies are garbage.
Because even the people say, it's like, I love the Transformers movies. It's like, yeah, they're fun, whatever. They're like an action.
But because a
whatever.
woman likes,
because it's a woman thing, I think there's just such... I think... My opinion, based on that, about the 50 Shades of Grey movies, that they're fine. Like, what they're not well made, particularly.
Okay, but like, I'm talking mainly about like the material of the story.
Of the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
I guess. I just want to know what people think.
Okay, well,
you have movies with bad people in them, and you have movies with good people in them, and you have movies with shades of grey people in them. I didn't.
Okay, but regardless about the people in it, the actual characters. You know what? I don't know. I don't like it that much. I really don't. I don't like the fact that he's, I don't know. They're having a relationship that she has to sign a contract to. Fucked.
Do you know how many people have a relationship like that? Like, not specifically like that, but like prenups. That's basically what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go as in-depth as that for a prenup.
I'm not into the content.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
I'm just interested.
Yeah, there are people that say that movie and those book series is abusive, and I don't necessarily think. I mean, I guess you have to. What do you classify as being abusive? Is she being psychologically manipulated?
Yes.
In this relationship?
Yes, she is.
I feel like
she always has an out, and that's where I get really defensive on the people who have never seen it or who have never read the book and are like, Christian Grey, da 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 da. She always has an out, and he always makes it clear that she has an out.
But here's the thing: how much of an out does someone have when they're being psychologically manipulated? He lures her into this relationship by having sex with her for the first time, completely free of any of the BDSM stuff, to be like, this is what you could have. This is the ideal version of things. And then she's like, oh, I want more. And she's at the start of the thing, she's a virgin, so this is her first everything. So he's really using some pretty shady tricks to get her.
Let me tell you this: if he didn't change at all throughout this trilogy, she would have left.
Hopefully.
No, she did. She left.
Yeah, but he came back and she was like, fine.
Because he was changing.
She didn't know that at the time. I'm just saying we don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I will answer it for you.
No, it's not really about the movie. It's just, I mean, if he was not a billionaire, would it be different?
Yes.
1,000% probably, right? I mean,
this is
she
part of why...
She would have never been okay with that, would she? I don't know.
This is part of the idea of it being a female fantasy. It's this billionaire just comes in and
fantasy,
takes care... Yeah, it's he's this...
He could take care of you.
If he lived in a trailer...
Yeah.
Would she still...
Depends on the person.
Some people are into that.
It depends.
I know. I just also hate that it kinks shames so hard.
It does not. What do you mean?
Yes, it does.
How?
No, the movie itself doesn't, but everyone around it kinks shames it so much.
It's that's a BDSM movie. It's who cares?
Yeah. Some people like that.
Yeah.
I bet 50% of people like that in some way or
I
another.
bet 50 Shades of people like that.
Sick. That was a sick joke.
Thanks. So, yeah, I think people talk about this movie who have not seen it, and they talk about it...
That's what I can't
say. They talk about it in a way that you would expect them to have. People saying, oh, that movie's about abuse. It's you didn't watch it.
And I guess that's my whole umbrella of another peeve that I have, and I'll roll it into that, is a peeve of someone who has never seen something judging it. Mm-hmm. And I probably do it on some stuff, but I try really hard not to. But the people who have never seen Teen Mom, and they're oh, this glorifies teen pregnancy. You've obviously never watched this show because these girls are miserable in their entire lives.
They're getting paid to be on the show, which bothers me.
Right, which is a Heisenberg theory that if you observe it, you change it. Yeah. Which is exactly what happened with those girls, but that's a discussion for another show.
I do think that Teen Mom, putting people on TV and paying them, it does promote a little bit of oh, if I do this thing which is bad and everybody on the show seems miserable and it's not for anyone, I could be on TV.
Right, and but hopefully it would be I would be miserable.
Yeah, I think the sorts of people that...
there's a lot in those shows that they have to spice it up, make it a little more interesting.
I think that I absolutely think they do.
Yeah, all reality is
But it's that you've never seen it and you don't understand. So those people who are Christian Grey is a sadist, he's a whatever.
People who judge things without actually experiencing them.
Or don't have the information about what the whole BDSM fetish is about.
Don't know what that is, and I think that is an unknown thing that people aren't even going to research because they just think it's so whatever the case may be, and it's not somebody's specific taste maybe.
Yeah.
But if they're two consenting adults in this relationship,
exactly, and she is not pinned there. Yeah,
that's the whole thing about the contract is it's entirely consensual.
Right, but I mean, I had an issue with the books that I just couldn't. It wasn't well written.
They're horrible. I've seen the excerpts of 50 Shades of Grey, and I laugh at it. It's so bad.
Poorly written, and
it was her first. It was her first book that she's ever written.
Twilight fan fiction.
Yep.
Yeah,
and she changed the
which
name.
is very obvious.
Yeah.
when you watch the
if you
movies.
look
You can
at it
basically make
through
a
the lens of
parallel
that.
to
Yeah, there are
every
so many
character.
parallels.
Just replace vampires with
Money.
kinky stuff or wealth. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, for her to like have gotten all this notoriety for something that's not well written, it's kind of annoys me, I guess, in a way, because but the thing is,
Well,
like, that's
does it-
subjective.
Here's a question: does that speak to so when one of the Captain America movies came out, there was like this thing with his best friend Bucky, and they had like a really close relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately after that movie came out, there was this hashtag like "Give Captain America a boyfriend," because everyone was like, these two seem like really close.
Mm-hmm.
We should do this. And obviously, I think a lot of people used it as a joke, and some people were serious about it.
Yeah.
But I think its popularity spoke to a desire people have for like a huge gay superhero. And similarly, do you think that something even as trashy as 50 Shades of Grey speaks to something that people want to see? Just like more...
It's human nature to.
I mean, I just think
Right,
there's
but,
a
like-
reason why romance novels are a huge like industry. Like,
Yeah.
like there's like a reason for that. There's an
I mean,
audience for that.
the porn industry. It's
Yeah.
basically parallels of porn.
It's like it's like a soft core.
No, it
or, like,
completely
it's erotica.
is.
It's erotica.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's different, obviously, like levels or like whatever styles of that, but like
But people
I think it made it that kind of socially acceptable. Like everyone was reading those books. You can go see those movies and not necessarily be reading porn
Right.
or erotica.
Right.
You're watching something. That's
we
mainstream.
watched it on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Right.
The last one. And in the middle of the movie, I'm like, this entire theater is full and we are all consenting adults sitting together watching softcore porn.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's a
numbed
beautiful
my
thing.
mind for a few minutes.
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
I
I can't believe that we do
Yeah,
this.
I was just more so, it was just like, for what this is, it's whatever, and I don't really care that much, but like, I'm not gonna like sing its praises because it's not
No.
that good.
Yeah.
If it was written better, would it have been any different? I think it would be just another
Well,
trashy romance
I don't
novel.
know, because
Well, if
people
it's
don't
well
read
written.
anything. People like, I've read books that are considered the classics, and I'm like, this was an awful book.
Well, time
Yeah.
changes a lot
Yeah,
of stuff.
but like, I just think they were actually poorly written,
Yeah.
and for that to have been made into a movie, I'm like, why this? Why this? I've read things that are better, so why this
Yeah.
particular thing?
Yeah.
Because it's popular and because they can make a lot of money on it.
Your opinion about this is completely different than what I thought, and I'm just so happy that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really interesting, and I just really wanted to know what everybody thought.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I can respect what it is, even if it's not, like, my taste.
Right,
But
right.
also,
Same to that.
if there was more of a very obvious abuse angle in it, I would obviously have to
Exactly, me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
If he was just like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
you-
do
but
what
you
I
wouldn't
want.
have a story. I feel like you wouldn't have a story.
I mean, you
Right.
could if the story was her being like,
Like
can
escaping
I,
or
can I
whatever.
get out of this? That would be empowering, but
yeah,
he wasn't abusive. He was just a dick.
that's mainly what's like my question. I also just wanted to put out there that I hate when people
Right. Judge things without
judge things without knowing anything about them,
Or, like,
which I'm
there are people that would never like this genre of a movie, ever.
Yeah, and they're just talking about it.
But then, like, then why would you even watch this and then be hypercritical of it? You're just not going to like this movie. No matter
It'd be
what.
like it'd be like watching The Shape of Water and being like, this is completely unrealistic.
I feel like we should rent that when it comes out.
I can't wait.
Well, I know at the beginning of, I don't know. I mean, I know that, didn't it say something about him being, like, abused as a child, and that's why he
Mhm.
does this? That's...
Yes.
Yeah. He has like burn marks all over his body.
And maybe I forgot because it's been literally like 2 years since I've
we
seen
didn't-
it.
We haven't rewatched them.
Yeah, I haven't. Did they ever get into like what happened to him?
Thought
They probably do in the books.
I think like he had a dom when he was like underage.
There's that woman,
Yeah, Mrs. Robinson.
but did she do that to him?
I thought that's what they said, or did they say like his parents did it?
I don't know. Write in and tell us. He didn't have parents. He had a mom.
Oh, he was adopted.
Right.
Okay, well that was.
So what about Rita Ora?
She's in them.
She's
there.
awful.
Is
She has to have.
I thought you liked her.
No.
Well, her
I love
character.
Zendaya.
Yeah,
Her
but
character is Christian Grey's sister.
Right, but
adopted.
Was she also abused? Or
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this is strictly a Christian Grey thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Basically, nobody else gets almost any screen time except for the two main characters.
Yeah.
You see the others.
In this last movie, you finally realize, because he has a brother and a sister who are adopted, that they know absolutely nothing about what his brother is.
Oh, okay.
Their brother is. They're like, we've never heard him talk.
Yeah.
Supposedly Anastasia is the first person that he dated and he married her. That's how they view his world, where he's had hundreds of
Conquests. Submissives.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey.
It's just
More
such a hot button issue I just really wanted to talk
More
about.
like 50 Shades of Thumbs Down.
I wouldn't say that.
Who are you? So, how are you guys? Let's move on to our first segment. How are you guys? How you doing?
I'm in charge of this episode.
That's right.
So we got your question, we got my question. Who wants to go next? Get it together.
Okay.
you know what this show's about.
We've
You know
literally
when
been
we're
going
recording.
for an hour and 6 minutes.
I know.
You got time to think.
Giving you in-depth answers to your questions.
You know what you could do? No, I'm not going to say, because you could...
You could Google a question.
Okay, I have one.
Okay.
Going along with that, but maybe not really. Okay, so I don't know how to phrase it though.
I gotta get
Oh gosh, I want to hurry now.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so I think it's important to have representation in the media of really diverse different people, because that's what the world is.
Uh-huh.
So, do you find that, I know this is a group that's going to probably agree with me on that, but people are saying I can't relate to this character. They're too different from me, or I can't, but then, I don't know. So my opinion is representation in the media is very important, and even if I don't relate with everything about a certain character, I can find something probably in them to relate to, and they're very compelling, and I can find myself falling in love with these characters who are so different from me.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so...
You know what? People will, okay, I have a lot of thoughts about this.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You seem like you need to gather yourself. Do you want me to talk?
No, I got it.
Okay.
When The Force Awakens came out...
Nerd alert! Just kidding. Go
When
ahead.
Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens came out, there were a lot of people who were either men's rights activists or white supremacists or just dicks in general that were
huge, enormous dicks.
the two main characters in that movie and throughout so far the entire series is Finn, a black man, and Rey, a woman. So there were a lot of people that were like, who am I supposed to relate to in this movie?
Jesus.
Who's my character? And it's
Jesus.
Jesus. Did you watch Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
Which of those fish were you supposed to find yourself in?
Yes.
Oh, because they
Man,
were...
that is a great... That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Sarah.
Yeah, people... It's just strictly racism and sexism. It's not that these people...
What exactly is?
When
people
can't identify with it.
When the
Someone
argument
when they're
is,
different.
why are there so many, people just say, why is there so much diversity here?
Why do we need diversity?
Why do we need diversity? Why does every show have to have these characters? And they're like,
Why does it always have to be about race, or why does it... Yeah.
Why are there all these people? It's
Right.
That's a
Life.
positive change that the media is trying to make consciously. Now, I don't think that there should be characters who are, one-dimensional, and that's the only reason that they're there.
Yeah,
I don't think you need to
Right.
be doing that. But if there's a very well-balanced, three-dimensional character, and they just so happen to be whatever, that's fine.
Well, okay, so I guess some people like to specifically relate to somebody in every movie. I'm not like that. There's a lot of movies that, you learn to like the character even though you don't like them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's movies like that. I don't relate to this person at all, but I still like the movie. So I don't think when it comes to race, that would really be that big of a deal. But I really don't like when people automatically take a movie and be like, oh, well, white supremacy. And you're like, that's nothing to do with it.
What?
Because that's happened on so many different... I just see it online on Facebook all the time, and it's just bugs me a lot. There's nothing here. You're just making it up. There's
you
nothing
can't be
here
offended
that
at
says...
everything. That's annoying.
Yeah.
I don't think I completely think people who say I can't identify with a character have to be on some level racist, because we are all humans, and so we can all relate on the sole fact that we are all humans and that we all have souls. Like,
now
that alone.
That being said, I do think representation is incredibly important.
Me too.
Because, like, and it's hard for me because I'm a white male, and so, like, seeing
the whitest of the males, sorry.
seeing all, like, these superhero movies that are all, like, white men main characters for the most part.
You might be a white male, but you are not a straight white male.
I know. There is a little bit to it.
So you are not the whatever majority.
But I would say that I find myself represented on screen. Whereas, say, like, Wonder Woman came out, and, like, there were little girls who would, like, dress up and go see the movie, and, like, in hordes, and people would take pictures and be like, this is why representation, like, her, like, there's the famous picture of, like, the little girl standing and, like, staring up the poster and everything, and it's like, we need this, and there's, like, little African-American babies, or children, like, looking at, like, the Black Panther posters and being like, representation is important, we need more of this type of thing.
Right, and everyone needs to appreciate it, not just the black babies looking up to Black Panther. We need all colored babies, all different shades of babies.
50 Shades of Babies.
Looking at all movies.
That is
of all movies.
That's the name of the podcast.
A nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay. So, I can't remember who said this, but, so recently it was announced, well, actually a while ago it was announced that the actor who would play the Doctor in Doctor Who would be a woman. And they just had a Christmas special where the regeneration happened, and now the Doctor is a woman. And when that news came out, a lot of people were like, why are you taking away, like, male icons? Why are you taking away male heroes? Like, who are boys supposed to identify with if you take away all these parts? And it's just like, first of all,
the other Doctor.
Yeah, first of all, it's like, the character as he was, the male Doctor, is still there. You can still, like, watch those episodes. Secondly, you can identify with the female character and be like...
You're saying that a male cannot admire a female character. Like, because
which is the biggest, one of the biggest friggin' problems in our world.
And even if those two things were untrue, it's like, okay, so you lost one. You still have thousands of other male icons you can look up to.
But they shouldn't have to. They should be okay.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, if those other two aren't
but
there.
The fact that you like would give them that out, that like, well, then just go watch the other one.
I'm not giving them out. I'm saying like, they don't, it's like if you, another thing I heard on a recent podcast, I can't remember who, I'm sorry, but it's just like if you hire 9 white people and then 1 black person, and then people get upset that you didn't hire 10 black people, but they don't see what's wrong with that, like, that's a problem. So it's like, yeah, there are 9 male icons to look up to and 1 female icon. Get over it. Like the people that are upset.
Exactly.
No, I get that. Yeah.
It's just like, this isn't... The problem here is you, not the thing. I just wish people saw that.
Right. Yes.
So, very important.
I'm going to ask a sub-question. What diversity group would you like to see more of?
I don't know. I feel like in the last, I'll say, 10 years, definitely. But like in the last 5 years, I think we've seen a really big step forward in terms of like different sexual orientations being represented in like mainstream media and like network television shows.
Oh yeah.
Which has been really interesting to see, and I just remember it being such a controversial thing like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Like it was when I was like in high school was when on the OC, which was like the show. And like Marissa, the character of Marissa and this like other girl kissed for like literally like a millisecond, and it was like a huge controversial ordeal.
Same with Callie in Arizona on Grey's Anatomy.
That was
still a thing.
So that was like 2006. So that was like a huge ordeal, and like now to see like how far the media has come to now, that's a really big jump in a fairly short period of time. I mean, like in 10 years. So I think it's a good thing, because now it's just kind of like it was not a notable moment, but it was like they made it into a big deal. And now they can focus more on, I think, writing nuanced characters instead of...
And people aren't focusing on that. They're focusing
who
on the
cares?
character
Like,
themselves.
that's just a part of this person's, like, life.
Right.
So, I don't know. I feel like if there's an underrepresented, like, minority, maybe, I don't know, like, probably, like, Asian Americans or, like, just Asians in general and people of, like, Middle Eastern descent, probably.
Yeah.
Definitely in America. I think it's harder for Middle Eastern people to be represented well.
Well, just, in
As
like,
of late.
in non, like, stereotypical.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What's Comet L? Do you have a subgroup that you wish or hope that will come to fruition in any media, I guess?
Movies and TV.
I don't know.
That's okay.
It's not as specific. I want to see, I don't
Yeah, I think it's just has to
You
be,
might think of one and you just
I feel
and
like
you don't know
it should be
it.
like an organic thing
Yeah.
that happens,
I think we have also in the last 3 years especially I've noticed that like plus size women
Mm-hmm.
have gotten where I never thought that they would go before.
Mm-hmm.
And this is we could open a whole can of worms.
Right.
I don't necessarily think that we should be, I'm really going to choose my words here. I don't think that we should, like, shame people for not being plus size, and I don't think we should shame people for being plus size. And I think that's really hard for a lot of people because we've swung, I think, so far in this, especially this last year of like, plus size girls matter or, plus models and it's swinging back to where it's like, okay, well, what about average or less than average size bodies? Which sounds bad. I like where it's going and I just wish we could appreciate all bodies. And I do wish a little bit more that we can find like specific beauty in plus size women. Yeah. I think plus size women are getting out there. We're the best friend. But we really haven't made it into the love interest. And I really want to see that happen. And for that fact, plus size males too, we really haven't seen them.
Yeah, I would agree.
Right. I think that people need to like separate, body weight from attractiveness because
same thing with they need to separate sexual orientation with self-worth or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think within like all these people like being represented, like first I think different minority groups were starting to appear in the media, but then more recently they've started to become less like stereotypical when they've been written. Like, there's always like, I don't know, like the token whatever character.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Right.
And now they're just
or
more like
the best friend who's
they're just more like good three-dimensional characters that just happen to be whatever. Like that's what I like to see.
So my answer to the sub-question is probably obvious, but it's gay main characters.
I was going to say, is it ginger people?
Oh, no. We're fine.
I want to.
They're perfectly fine.
Yeah, we don't.
There's enough.
Yeah, we don't need any more. But I want to see gay people as the main character, not like side characters or whatever, in something that's not about
being
gay, because I find I don't know that off the top of my head I could name a single piece of art that's about something that isn't about the character being gay, unless like, it's hard to explain.
Yeah,
but like if there was a superhero movie where the main character was gay, I absolutely guarantee that the plot would be about them stopping the evil person that they would have to stop, and not about like, I'm just trying to find my way in life and accept that I'm gay or whatever.
But if there is a romantic interest, like there is in a lot of those superhero movies, then all of a sudden
it's going to be a part of it.
Well, it's not about that. That's just a part of it. Like Deadpool, it's not about his relationship with Vanessa. It's in there. Yeah, it's just part of it. So I think like if there was a gay male or female superhero who, there was a love interest.
And you just want it like kind of washed over organically.
Sarah Lance on Legends of Tomorrow is bisexual, and she's the lead of that show. I would consider her the lead of that show.
I've not seen that yet. I'm getting there. But
bisexuality is a thing.
Oh yeah, that's incredible.
A lot of people do not understand.
Yeah, I would. You would like that.
There's so many onion layers to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's very like.
But I would say that's. Yeah. It's not a movie; it's a show, but that's close to what you're saying because it's so rarely like anything to do with what the episode is about, but like when it pops up and it's there. They don't shy away from it.
That's good. I'm watching The Flash and Arrow right now, and that show comes in, I think, later on the season that I'm in, because I'm in season 4/2 of Arrow and Flash.
There's a lot of crossover situations.
I'm excited for it.
I look around this room, and it's so cool to like see what we all are technically a minority of. So technically, everybody's a minority.
I guess everyone's minority.
Yeah.
So that's me. I think we still have a long way to go. We have come very far, like even as far as 5 years ago, but we still have a long way to go before it's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't even think about it. Because like I'd like to get to the point where if they announce like, hey, here's a movie with a black lead or a gay lead or whatever.
Shouldn't even have to.
It wouldn't be a discussion. It would just be like, I hope it's good. Like it's like all movies.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
Then you come back into people trying to relate to the main character and all of that.
Hopefully they can, because we're all human.
Right.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, like in The Lion King. Remember in The Lion King where you're like, oh, I just can't relate to Mufasa because the actor who plays that voice is black.
Said no one ever.
Exactly.
Said no one in this room, at least.
Exactly. Like
Was he?
It's
James
James
Earl
Earl
Jones.
Jones.
Oh.
I'm just saying, like nobody had that problem with that movie, which is a cartoon about animals. So Right. Well, we all learned something today. Good
Which I
question.
think leads us to, did What's Coming Ella ask a question
She did
yet?
not.
I don't think so.
Do you have one?
I do have one.
Oh, good.
Which is funny. Okay.
That's a change.
Oh.
It's totally different. Totally.
Good.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is something I struggle with very much, and why I can't listen to our podcasts.
Uh-oh.
Well, I absolutely hate the sound of my voice.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand it. When I listen to my voice, it seriously makes me almost have a panic attack. I hate my sound of my voice so much. I think I just sound like a squeaky little mouse. I don't know. It's so horrible. I hate it that much that it makes me want to cry every time I hear the sound of my voice. Like, not talking, but on a recording.
Yeah.
So the question is...
Do you guys hate the sound of your voices? On recordings, voicemails, stuff like that?
No.
No.
Oh.
I used to.
Yeah.
And when I do listen to myself, I go, oh, that's what I sound like. But I don't necessarily hate it. I actually enjoy listening to myself, even though sometimes I'm like, oh, she sounds like the valliest of the valley girls.
You do not.
But that's what I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you heard the voice that's in my head, it's just so much lower.
Yeah.
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 I looked that up. I looked up the whole thing up on it, and because I didn't know if I was the only one, and it's everybody hears their voice lower.
Yeah.
It's
So
because the way it vibrates out into the air is different than it vibrates in you.
Because when I hear myself on something, I cannot believe I sound that high pitched and that awful. I hate it so much. Hate it.
I feel like a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah.
I just do.
So, while you were asking the question, I was going to say, my initial answer was no, I've gotten used to it, because for like just years and years and years, I've been doing audio stuff, and since we don't have like a team of people or whatever, I'm the one who records it, so I just am constantly hearing my own voice, not because I am like narcissistic or whatever, just because...
I'm a little narcissistic. I really like hearing myself.
Yeah, just because I have to. And so I've just gotten used to it, but then I noticed, like, if I listen to the podcast, that's kind of what I sound like. Like, to me.
Yeah.
Like, I've just developed developed this ear for, like, when I'm speaking now and when I listen to this on the podcast later. Hi, me. It's just going to sound like the way I heard it now, because I've just gotten so used to it.
I catch it every once in a while, what I truly do sound like.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right, because I have an ear for it, because I know.
Yeah. So, no. Sorry.
Man.
But yes, when I was a kid, my father had a VHS.
You did it! You just did it!
I did it.
You did it!
Well, I was kind of trying to be fun. No, I wasn't.
So, suck it!
He had this giant VHS recorder.
Recorders.
Yeah, you put a VHS tape in, and it was huge.
Yeah,
and I would like just film because I wanted to be a filmmaker since forever. And I would just film like my brother, my parents doing whatever. And when I was back then, I listened to my voice and I was just so nasally and high, and I was
You
like,
haven't gone
"Don't
through.
do that," and like I would sound like this, "Don't do that." So it was like a little different. But-
You're Steve Urkel.
Yeah. Now did I do that? So when I was a child, very much so. I couldn't stand it. I was like, "That's garbage."
I
but-
bet males go through that a lot because your voice actually changes. I think women's voices do change,
a little.
but not
Like from when you're like a
drastically.
child to when you're like a teenager.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or even, I don't know, even beyond that. Because I've done shows where I play like not an old woman, but like an older woman, and they're like, you really need to like drop your voice
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
and just like
It does.
speak
I
a
love
little,
that.
and speak a little bit slower.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
Maybe you'll get used to
I
it.
don't
Maybe
mind-
if you listen
I
to
don't
your
mind.
voice more, you'll.
Yeah, I think it comes from
It makes
listening
me
to
nauseous.
yourself,
I
like
hate it so
recordings
much.
of yourself.
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
helps you have like an awareness of what you really sound like to other people. Maybe.
Well, yeah, but like
Yeah.
I've tried to listen to our podcast and I just can't take me seriously because of the way my voice sounds.
I saw a t-shirt.
I just can't take myself seriously.
Yeah.
I just can't take myself seriously. No, I totally understand what you mean. Because sometimes I feel that way, but I still just...
Sometimes I'm like, you're so insightful to myself.
Yeah.
I know. So, most of the time I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you're so funny.
Great point, Al. My name. No, it's Alex. That's fine.
Yeah, great point.
No,
Clever
I
girl.
don't. And every time like I try to listen to one, I think
Oh, that's
I wish that I
awful.
would have said this, and I wish
Oh.
it would have said
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and that's on top of me.
That-
Oh,
hating
yeah.
how I sound.
I mean, I do that a lot too.
Sometimes we'll start a conversation. I'll be like, "Oh, I have a really great point to make," and then the conversation just doesn't.
Changes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
when
then-
you listen
then I'm like-
back,
And then you're like,
"What?"
shoot, I never
Why did
said
I
that.
say that? Right.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring it up on another podcast. I'll have to bring up the same topic again.
I got a peeve
But I don't.
for next time.
Great.
Next time on Peeves and Qs.
Well, I think that brings us
wraps
to our
up.
next segment.
Yeah, that seriously does.
How are you
and,
guys?
And I was going to ask, how are you
How
guys?
are you guys? So
Because
how?
I'm the one that's hosting, so shut up.
Well, let me ask you this: how are you guys?
We're not,
Go
how
on.
are you? We're going to add what we haven't done in a very, very long time on
Oh,
the
yeah?
show. We haven't
A
asked.
very long time or a
A very long
I'm pulling up Barry Barlow, our
Barlow.
stuffed bear.
My
Oh.
baby.
What are you gonna ask? Can I guess? No, you just
No.
say it.
I don't think Woods Comment L has ever been part of this segment, and I think Carmen Sandiego has only
But not
done this
anymore?
once.
Maybe.
It's a segment called "What'd You Learn Today?" And you have to, and you have to
Not
either-
today,
No,
but
like,
on the podcast.
during the podcast. What did
Yeah.
you learn about either yourself or another person on the podcast?
I learned that Clever Girl loves Babes in Toyland, unironically.
Shut
and
up.
you tried to disguise it as, oh, I hate it, haha, I love it.
But did you already know that?
I did already know that.
So you can't pick that.
Well, it's funny. So
I can't think of anything. I will.
What's comma L? You learned something.
Did I?
You learned about.
You learned about James Earl Jones.
Lion King.
Yeah, I guess so. I did learn that.
Oh, I
I had no
learned
idea.
that- What? Which one is it? Rooney Mara's sister. What's her name?
Oh, Kate Mara.
Kate Mara was in that one movie.
Which is trash.
I learned that Kate Winslet is in Red. No.
No.
Who is
No,
it?
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren.
I guess you didn't learn that, did you?
I learned it wasn't Meryl Streep. and I
Dame Mirren.
outwardly learned that Rita Ora and Zendaya are not the same people.
I learned, again, who Rita Ora is. It happens once every couple months because I keep forgetting.
I like her music, some of it.
She's a musician. I learned something
Yeah.
today.
Oh yeah.
She's a musician.
Yeah, totally.
I thought she was an
British.
actor.
British.
She's British. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, that's why she's terrible, because she had to have
An American accent.
she had to have an American accent, and she literally had to have every line fed to her.
Well, isn't Zendaya Australian or something?
No.
No.
She's not. She's from,
She's
like,
from
California.
Disney.
Oh,
Great. Well, thank you. No, you do it.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to ask us some questions, because eventually we will run out of them, you can email us at Peeves and Qs podcast. That's Peeves and the letter Q S podcast at gmail.com. Or you can find us on Twitter at Peeves and Qs.
That's right. And if you call in now, you could win a free car. Don't expect that to happen.
That's not gonna happen.
But
They can't call us because they didn't give them a number.
that's right. So call in and you could win a free car, but you have to find out what the number is. Good luck. Thank you. And yeah, please tell people about the show. If you're listening, if you're listening, you tell people about this show. Because we need people to listen to this show.
Listen, Alan Alda, you need to put yourself on hold.
This is a great podcast we got here. Yeah. Wow.
But seriously, we can't do, or we get more enjoyment if you listen to it and if you tell your friends about it. So,
and if you want to comment on
Shut
this
up.
show, leaving us a comment really helps because that helps other people find us. When you leave comments, it actually bumps us up higher
on Google.
On iTunes, but
That's
probably on Google too. And so other people will be like, I need some random podcast to listen to. Oh, Peeves and Qs. So if you want to help out the show in any way, tell people about it. And leave a comment. 5 stars only, please. No, nothing more than that. So,
Or tell us if you think one of us is full of crap.
it's probably me.
It's probably
Thanks for
Mr.
listening.
Ed. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.